Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss, and you ain't gotta give a about no code.
Tell me who unleashed our animal instinct. Why the op standing there tickle pink? Have a drink, no more liquor. Got a poison. One thicker, one gangster, one hole in the desert for the snitch. What happened to the code? What's this? What's the new password I miss? Somebody got some explaining to do. And the classic man is a danger to you. And me too, tatted on my forehead. Go home, go to bed. I dread something like this way come when the family unit is overrun.
Welcome back to another edition of the Franchise Podcast from Radio Row, where Super Bowl 58 is taking place in our backyard right here in Las Vegas. TQ Joe, and join us now is a man. He ran an NFL franchise in Buffalo, ran the NHL franchise in Buffalo, so the Bills and the Sabres. Yeah. Now he's the president of the UFL. Russ Brandon. Russ, yes, sir. My man.
Thanks, man. Joe,
glad you're here.
TQ, thank you.
My man.
Appreciate you guys.
First of all, we love the product.
Massive shout out to our guy, Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel.
Yes, indeed.
Jack, Russ signed off on you coming on with us. So come on.
Come on, Jack. Bringing my mom to come see you pretty soon. She's been hammering for it.
Hosted that trophy. He's the best.
Yes,
great guy.
Man, so obviously the XFL and USFL merged and created this product. We love the XFL. We actually love the innovative rules and everything.
Yeah.
How big is this merger for football?
I think it's huge, actually. You know, and I appreciate that on the XFL. We spent a lot of time building it. We had really good people around it.
Yes.
And we always said that we were going to be a league of innovation, but we will not be a league of gimmicks.
Right.
And we used to say that the X stood for the intersection of dreams and opportunities.
Love it.
And now the U is the opportunity to unite, unlock, and unleash those dreams and opportunities.
Sweet.
For not only for the athletes on the field, but for everybody in our sport. People in performance science, officiating, athletic training, whatever you want to do in this game, if you're a part of our league, whether you want to go to the Holy Grail of the NFL as a player or someone off the field, or if you just want to be in our sport, and we feel very good about this league. I think this league will be here for beyond my years, because it's being built the right way.
Absolutely. That's the best news. That's what I was coming with. Do you think it's going to stick? Because, I mean, we all know, I think this is part of why you guys put this together. This country is crazy over football. It's going global. And the XFL was off to a great, we shot it. We was there on the weekends. I'm there with the camera. She's there with the camera. And we loved it. We had so much fun because of, like, the freedom of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we felt like, man, if we just, especially in this community, if we could have just had a little more time to get it going. But across the board, man, I love the way it's being set up, the TV deals that you guys have done.
Yeah, TQ, so to your point on that, you know, the merger was, let me backtrack. We all remember the 2001 XFL, and that was a whole different version, right? Yeah. But a major props to the 2020 XFL. The only reason that did not keep going in the direction it was going was the pandemic, which changed all of our lives, right?
Right.
So we decided when Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia and Redbird Capital bought the XFL, we took a patient approach to come back out on the field. The USFL went out earlier. Mm-hmm. They played 2 seasons. We played 1. And then we said, we're all in this for the same reason. Right. And that is to advance the game of football, provide an incubator and beta test areas such as officiating or the command center with Dean Blandino, our rules and innovations, right? So from our standpoint, the opportunity to merge and then have the power of Fox, ESPN, ABC, all of our games are on those networks.
Absolutely.
Right? And, you know, it's just an incredible opportunity. When you look at the athletes, 83% of our players in the X had rostered in the NFL. Between the 2 leagues, we put 100 guys back in the NFL. It was signed contracts, a half a dozen rostered. So there is an opportunity here with our partnership with the NFL to continue to grow our great game.
Yes.
I coached football for a long time, played it, and he played it in high school. Like, when I think about the rules, who are the people that sit down and really say, how can we improve? The kickoffs were ingenious. I think the NFL really needs to go to that model, because you can't eliminate kickoffs,
right,
but you can find a way to help alleviate concussions.
Right.
And that plays one. Who's the guys that sit down, or who's the people that sit down in the room and say, these are the things I want to change, and this is how we should change it?
Well, it's a great question, because when we look at the game in both the USFL and the XFL, we had 94% returns. The NFL was less than 27%.
Wow.
So you look at that and you say, how can we keep this very exciting play in the game, albeit keep it in a safer model? And so to answer your question, we have football people around it, the Daryl Johnsons of the world now, Dean Blandino from an officiating standpoint, Mike Pereira from an officiating standpoint, but also all of our heads of medical, and our athletic trainers, our performance science people. So you have a holistic view of this particular play. So in all of our rules, we often say, we're on a whiteboard, to have the opportunity to build and grow something really from scratch has been pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And we have a lot of people with NFL experience that, as I like to say, a lot of great ideas hit the cutting room floor in the owners' meetings, in the competition committee, because the NFL has their way of doing things that we can say, along with Troy Vincent, who's a champion of our league.
Love Troy Vincent.
Troy's the man.
Yeah.
Troy played in Buffalo. Troy will say, hey, look at this. Why don't we try this? Would you guys beta test this?
Yeah.
And what does it do? It's for the benefit of our game holistically.
Right.
That's why we do what we do.
Right. I love it. So aside from us reporting sports, I mean, we're creators, right? Trisha is a heavy graphics design person. I dabble in it myself. What's up with the uniforms, man? We love the uniforms. The kids love the uniforms. It's got that Oregon effect. You know how everybody wants to go and play in the, in the bright design. Who's behind it?
I will tell you, I give all the props to our partner, Under Armour.
Okay.
Okay. Sheldon Donnell, who at Under Armour, did an amazing job with his team leading that.
Yes.
But all the props go to Danny Garcia.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Danny is one of the most influential people I've ever worked with in my career. She's an absolute powerhouse.
Yes.
And her leadership with our league, I can't even really articulate how much she means to me personally, but to our league in general. She and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Dwayne, they spent so much time and so much effort looking at every single detail.
Yeah, you can tell, man.
And we were very proud of when we rolled them out.
Yeah.
And they have been super well received. Now that we have the USFL, we've been working with them and with the Birmingham and the Memphis Showboats and the Michigan Panthers. But we have some really cool looks. We're going to continue to refine those looks.
Nice.
Know what I like?
It's exciting.
The USFL kept some of the old school USFL names.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I really liked that league as a kid. I mean, I know it was competing with the NFL, kind of shouldn't have been. But I mean, and Jeff Perlman.
Some of my guys came out of that league.
Jeff Perlman wrote a great book on that too.
Yes,
Jeff's a great guy. So
and I will say that one of the things that we embrace our heritage with innovation, like we talked about earlier. The heritage of the USFL is very important to us as we move forward, and then to collectively move our game in that direction and innovation, and like we were talking about earlier, Dean. I always say the star of the XFL is Dean Blandino, right? Because of the transparency, having him talking to the coaches and to the officials on the field.
Yes.
We had 4 officials get called up to the NFL, and that went. That's a big part of our game as well, as we all know.
Absolutely.
When I look at the XFL and I look at the USFL with the whole merger with the UFL, I'm a football junkie, so was he.
Yeah.
And last year, it had to grab me. Like, it really had to grab me. And the first game I sat and watched it, I was like, oh, okay, instantaneously. There were other leagues that when it was on, I'm like, I'm forcing myself to watch that.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys put out, your product is phenomenal, and I really like. And then and like you said, you have your brain trust with Redbird Capital, with Danny Garcia and with Dwayne Johnson. What's it like working with those three people in this venture?
Well, in the XFL, it was incredible, and I'll get to that in a second. And then you throw in Eric Shanks, the chairman of Fox Sports, and Larry Jones, and the great folks at Fox, and you've got a really dynamic group of people, right?
That's a hell of a room.
Yeah, we're Jerry Cardinale, who's the founder of Redbird, is one of the most successful business sports executives and just business executives in the history of this planet, right? So to have Jerry's leadership, we all know Dwayne, right? He loves, he talks about being the 54th man is what drove him to what he is today.
Exactly.
It worked out really well
Sure
for
did.
him. But he says, I needed a league like this.
Right.
I needed an opportunity. The name of his company is $7 Productions because he's had $7 and he was wrestling in flea markets for $50.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Dang.
And to have him and his passion, and he's not a guy, I think that doesn't just throw his name on the patch.
Oh,
right
absolutely
here.
not.
No.
He's in.
Yeah.
Like he'd be in movies, and we would have Zoom calls, and he would be so prepared and so a part of building our league, and having him, we're such a big part of it now. He's a special guy.
He is that,
and
man.
Danny is our leader. She's amazing.
So kickoff is in March, correct?
March 30th, the USFL champion. So we kept the USFL conference and the XFL conference.
Okay.
Sweet.
Nice.
So the Birmingham Stallions, the champion of the USFL, will go to Arlington and take on big game Bob Stoops and the Arlington
Man.
Renegades, who won our championship last year.
Love it, man. Well, we definitely gonna miss it out here because we just love to shoot football. We football people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
football,
Most of our staff has just got a love for football, but we all in for it.
We're all in too. We're gonna.
They got the flight. They may come down and watch you.
Yeah, for real.
You're on full scholarship with me down there.
There we go. Hey, I love it. No transfer portal.
no NIL, nothing.
Love it.
Well, Russ, we appreciate you
Thank
joining
you,
us,
Joe.
taking some time. For this edition of the Franchise Show, we are on Radio Row covering Super Bowl 58. Russ Brandon, the president of the UFL. It's a Franchise Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Get ready. Spring football is back, baby. Here to stay.
Love it.
Girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. But ignorance is bliss. You ain't gotta give a damn about no code. Uh-oh.
Tell me